How's it going, everyone? Today I have an easy guide that will help you unlock the Descendant Freyna. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. Firstly, before you can even begin farming Freyna, you'll need the Obtain Freyna's Equipment Materials 1 quest. This is the first sub-quest for unlocking Freyna, and you obtain this quest after unlocking the Rockfall Zone and the Sterile Land. Once you have Freyna's quest, the first step is to acquire Freyna's amorphous material pattern. Her pattern will drop after you complete the Vulgus Strategic Outpost Reconnaissance mission located in the Rockfall Zone. After you complete the Vulgus Strategic Outpost mission, Freyna's quest will then update, and the next thing to do is to destroy the Void Fragment in the Rockfall Zone. When you arrive at the Void Fragment mission, make sure you have either weapons with electric damage on them or a Descendant that deals electric damage, like Bunny for example, because this Void Fragment is only vulnerable to electric damage and cannot be destroyed with any other sources of damage. After destroying the Void Fragment, the next quest step is to defeat the commander at the Void Fusion Reactor in the Rockfall Zone. After defeating the commander at the Void Fusion Reactor, a reconstructed device will spawn, and you'll then need to use the device to acquire Freyna's code. Once you have Freyna's code, the next step in the Obtaining Freyna's Equipment Materials quest is to obtain all of her other crafting materials needed for researching her. All of Freyna's other crafting materials drop in the Vespers area on the world map, so you will need access to Vespers in order to obtain her other materials. If you don't already have access to the Vespers area, continue playing through the main story quest until you come across the Vespers Operation quest. This quest will send you to Albion to talk with Freyna and will eventually lead you to the Vespers area.
What's going on? Sorry, I know you probably wanted some rest after taking out that Colossus. Anyway, like I said over comms, we've discovered Ironheart traces in Vespers. I had business to attend to with the Order of Truth, so I was hunting down some Vulgus there. Suddenly, the guide appeared, claiming she felt the pulse of an Ironheart in the area, and then simultaneously in multiple areas. According to the guide, these multiple signals weren't byproducts of the Ironheart like Alzarok was. Comparing it with the data we have now, there really seems to be a difference. Now, well, it's obvious, isn't it? We have no other choice but to check every single location she's detected. When I came back to HQ to report on my operation, they told me to take reinforcements, and I chose you. Jeremy makes me very uncomfortable, but I have no trouble trusting you. So, you in? I'll take your silence as consent. I knew you'd accept, even if you didn't actually say it. We'll head to the Vespers outpost once you're ready. It'll give Dr. Glade time to join us.
When you gain access to the Vespers area, fast travel to the Lumberyard Outpost.
Alright, how can I help? We've received operation details. The Ironheart pulse has supposedly been detected in this area, but it's impossible to triangulate since it's dispersed in several directions.
That's correct, Glade. I can feel it clearly, but it's hard for me to pinpoint its exact position. However, I can confirm it is in this zone.
We were deployed here to find one thing, and now we also have to find the Ironheart. We'll have to look under every rock in Vespers.
Freyna and I were sent here to look for a group of Vulgus, who have stolen Arcade Serum from Jaber and some other Descendants. Freyna, Sharon, even I've already had my Arcade Serum stolen by them once. Things will only get worse if we let them take any more of it.
Those bastards. They satisfy their own desires by taking everything we humans have. They have to be stopped.
If the Ironheart is underground, then it makes sense that we're detecting the pulse in multiple locations. Not only is 55% of the surface of Vespers composed of slickenside, but this zone has a high distribution of strange-looking rocks. It's also one of the few zones where there are Ancestors' ruins on the surface, and most of the Ancestors' ruins are built out of slickenside. That's why it's difficult to pinpoint the exact point of origin of the pulses. The characteristics of slickenside make it easier for pulses to pass through it, which means there's a higher probability of pulses being detected simultaneously from multiple directions.
When I analyze the strata, there are spaces that feel empty to me. They are most likely where the Ancestors' ruins can be found. All entrances to these spaces emit pulses of similar intensity. However, you will need to confirm in person whether these places are the correct paths to lead us to the Iron Heart.
In that case, we'll need to check all the places detected by the guide. There's no way the Vulgus didn't prepare for this.
All right, let's spread out and find the entrance that leads underground. That'll split the enemy's attention, so it's a good tactical approach as well.
Freyna, I understand there are specialized drones that Albion has created to find the Iron Heart.
That's correct. Enzo's sending the drones here shortly.
That is excellent news. Let's begin our search for the Iron Heart in earnest.
After speaking with Glay, your quest will then update and 3 new main story missions will be made available. These are the Frontline Base Extermination Mission, the Collapsed Piers Supply Mission, and lastly, the Ruins Path Search Mission. Freyna's stabilizer material has a 20% chance to drop from the Ruins Path mission, so the next step for unlocking her is to complete this mission. When Freyna's stabilizer material drops for you, go ahead and complete those other 2 missions that I mentioned earlier, the Collapsed Piers mission and the Frontline Base mission. After beating all 3 missions, you will unlock the Ruins Zone, and the next step is to talk to Glay at the Ruins Outpost.
What seems to be the problem? This place has been mentioned in records throughout history. And as the name suggests, these are the ruins. Turns out this is where the greatest recorded number of ancestors gather. Investigation by the excavation team and analysis by the magisters uncovered records mentioning the breakout of civil war. The ruins are evidence, remnants of this war. We don't yet know why the civil war happened. Albion collapsed as a result of the war, and this is the only surviving record.
Given the Iron Heart is here, that may have been a factor behind the outbreak of any civil war. Past or present, the Iron Heart definitely has the capability to turn the fate of Ingris upside down. That hasn't changed. There were bound to be conflicts.
This is the first I've heard of this civil war. Freyna's theory is quite interesting. The Iron Heart in Ingris. It could be powerful and dangerous enough to turn the fate of everything in existence upside down.
Glay, I know you're a medical doctor. Do you have doctorates in history and geology as well?
I just wanted to be able to explain anything my daughter was curious about. To be the person who could answer any questions she asked.
Sounds like you'll have a lot to talk about once she returns. You must have experienced and learned countless things during the time she's been away.
I have so much to tell her we'll probably stay up all night. Anyway, we should hurry. Guide, can you do an in-depth analysis of the ruins, please? There must be an entrance somewhere.
Enzo here. I've been able to expand my range to the vicinity of the ruins thanks to the data acquired by the drones and the guide. Transmitting surface analysis information and intel on potential entrances to Asieves.
That's not far from my current position. I'll go.
Glay, I'll go. That's where the bastards from the Order of Truth have settled. I'm the only one who can withstand the toxins they use.
I'll leave it to you then.
HQ will continue to monitor the situation. Should anything happen to Freyna, please report immediately.
When you finish speaking with Glay, 3 new main story missions will appear in the Ruins Zone. These are the Ruins Courtyard Extermination Mission, the Ruins Underground Entrance Power Shutdown Mission, and the Destroyed Temple Defense Mission. The Ruins Underground Entrance mission has a 20% chance to drop Freyna's Spiral Catalyst and is the second mission in Vespers that can drop one of Freyna's crafting materials. Once you've received Freyna's Spiral Catalyst from the Ruins Underground Entrance mission, complete the Ruins Courtyard mission and also the Destroyed Temple mission so you can progress further in the main story. Shortly after beating all 3 missions in the Ruin Zone, you'll unlock the Lost Supply Depot Zone, and the next step is to talk to Freyna in the Lost Supply Depot Outpost.
You said something? I'm sorry. You're here. It's a good thing I took this side. Neither you nor Glay would have lasted. Let's go find this entrance. Ugh, I thought I crushed the Order. They've just regrouped. They're so horrible and dirty, disgusting. There seems to be no end to them.
Freyna, calm down. Your heart rate is increasing. It could trigger a traumatic episode.
We don't have any sedatives, so if you start having seizures, we'll have to send you back to Albion.
All right, I get it. I'll calm down. Go get your panties in a bunch. It's not enough for me to black out. Hey, Kate, can you hear me?
Huh? Freyna? Yes, I hear you. What's happening? Anything I can help you with?
I overheard your comms with Glay. You're doing something with the fungus, right? If we collect enough fungi, will you be able to make an antidote or antibody that gives us immunity?
Of course. Although it may take some time, it's not impossible.
Great idea. Kate, if you have any questions during production, get in touch right away. And remember to be methodical. You make mistakes when you're rushing.
Wait, that was over 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was back then.
Our objective is to secure as much fungi as possible. Let's hurry. If we have an antidote or antibodies that give us immunity, the mission will become much easier.
When you're finished speaking with Freyna, 3 main story missions in a Lost Supply Depot Zone will appear. These are the Capture Base Defense Mission, the Abandoned Village Extermination Mission, and lastly, the Mossy Colossus Multi-Seizure Mission. Complete all 3 of these missions. After you beat the 3 missions, go back to the Lost Supply Depot Outpost and speak with Dr. Kate.
Good to see you. Shall we just... Glay, I don't think we should joke about it.
You sound just like Jin. Adorable. Thank you for your hard work. Don't worry, I know how capable you are.
I heard you worked on my arcane neutralizer. I'm sure it'll be effective against the toxin again.
You can trust me. To be honest, I tested it on myself at the clinical trial stage. I'm fine, so as Descendants, you definitely will be.
What did you just say, Kate? That neutralizer was made from the Order's toxin. Do you know how dangerous that was? Do I have to lose you too?
Glay, I'm also part of Albion headquarters. I'm one of many people working for Albion and all of humanity. The Descendants shouldn't be the only ones ready to sacrifice themselves. I'm ready to do my part. Let's help each other.
Lighten up, Glay. Thanks to Kate's efforts, we can continue with the operation.
Glay, this antibody will help you to stay strong for this operation. After all, it will give you immunity, and I've tested it on myself.
Let it go this one time. But never again, you hear me? Okay. Thank you, Kate. Really.
Now that everybody has the antibody, let's go get that iron heart. We can't let the Vulgus take this one, too.
If everyone is ready, I will lead the way. Let us find the Iron Heart.
The next quest step, after speaking with Dr. Kate, is to complete the Sepulchre Duty of the Descendant mission. When you complete the sepulcher mission, go to Albion and speak with Alpha at the Albion Operations Command Center.
Got a question about the operation? We've confirmed the transmitted data. There's a vault where the ancestors kept the Ironheart. We can use this to our advantage. The Vulgus will need time to crack open the vault. Enzo, send the sample of the ancestors' remains received from the guide to Anais and tell her to hurry. We need to analyze the DNA and activate the biometric authentication before the Vulgus do. And to do that, we need to increase our combat forces in the field. I'll send any off-duty Descendants, rendezvous with them at the outpost, and proceed with the operation.
Jeez, why am I being called in? I thought I'd be getting some R&R. Making me work with crazies thinking they see a ghost. Nah, I've got other things to do.
Jeremy, there's an Ironheart in the zone. Have you forgotten that finding the Ironheart is the #1 priority for all Descendants? Also, since you've been assigned to a mission, you should conduct yourself properly. Continue to be uncooperative, and I will report you to your superiors.
An Ironheart? Oh, man, why didn't you say so from the start?
The Moonlight Lake zone will then be made available to you, and the next thing to do is to talk to Jeremy at the Moonlight Lake outpost.
Get to the point. I only picked up bits and pieces earlier. I didn't realize it was such an emergency. An Ironheart, right in front of us. The place will be crawling with Corell's minions, but don't worry. I can take this opportunity to show you what an awesome Descendant I am. I'm curious what Guide's reaction will be after I carry this entire operation. Let me know, will ya? Alrighty, shall we get this show started? I'll use my incredible teleportation skills to scout all of the underground spaces.
If the Vulgus are on the verge of opening the vault, then they'll likely report to their superior, Corell.
In which case, we'll need a way to tap into their comms. Guide, check and see if there are any ally devices nearby we can use to wiretap.
There is one ally communications repeater. If I modify the code, it can be altered to enable wiretapping.
That should work. We should spread out and continue with the mission.
Then after that, complete the 3 main story missions in the Moonlight Lake zone. These are the Lakeside Power Shutdown mission, the Floodplain Extermination mission, and the Old Surveillance Station Defense mission. Once you complete those 3 missions, you will unlock the Timberfall zone, and the next step is to speak with a guide located at the Timberfall outpost.
First of all, this is only a theory for now. I must review the enemy's data before I can be certain. I have some ideas on why the enemy is collecting organic matter, and I have reached a hypothetical conclusion. The most probable reason is that their DNA analysis is still incomplete, and they're looking for materials to use as part of it.
In order to extract pure DNA from something, you need a refining process to remove all the other materials mixed in.
And once refinement has been completed, you will still need to perform an amplification process. This process requires certain enzymes.
So what you're saying, Guide, is that the Vulgus are extracting the enzymes they need from the giant tree.
In a way, yes. As the giant tree has existed since the time of the ancestors, it will have accumulated a variety of organic matter. It may store materials which are difficult to find even now. The Vulgus may have predicted this. It is likely that they intend to extract all of the remaining organic matter left in the giant tree in order to find the enzymes required for amplification.
If we can seize what they extract and send it to Albion, we can expedite our research process.
I guess we have our answer then. Let's hurry. It's our turn to take something from them. Let's make them pay for messing with us.
Descendant, it seems that Glay has elected herself to be our guide this time. But I agree. Because of Glay's quick judgment and knowledge, I was able to decrease my margin of error.
I'm honored to hear that. Coming from a highly advanced AI created by the ancestors.
I must go into overclock mode in order to do everything I can to help you gain the Iron Heart.
4 new main story missions will then unlock in the Timberfall zone. These are the Ancient Giant Tree Composite Mission, the Supply Depot Supply Mission, the Timberfall Power Facility Power Shutdown Mission, and lastly, the Organic Recording Terminal Multi-Hack Mission. Complete all 4 of these missions. When you're finished doing those missions, go to the Timberfall Outpost and speak with Jeremy.
Get to the point. What are you doing? Sightseeing? This operation is a waste of time, a complete waste. You keep telling me I need to cooperate, but I think you guys are the uncooperative ones.
Jeremy, unless your receive is having issues, there is no way you didn't know we were in the middle of an operation. It's prohibited for Descendants to deactivate the receives during an operation. If you manually deactivated your receive link, I think that would make your attitude toward the operation uncooperative.
I'd watch what you're saying, Glay. I carried out my side of the operation perfectly. I scouted the entire area thoroughly. I've even confirmed that the Ancestors' ruins are in the deepest part of Vespers. How dare you question my attitude? God, I don't know why Alpha looks out for you guys so much. Maybe he feels sorry for you being possessed by the ghost or guide or whatever. If it's because he pities you, well, I guess normal me has no choice but to be understanding. I'll distract the enemy's backlines just for you pitiful lot. You can follow me and push through. You 3, no. Is it 4? Anyway, you're all deployed, so let's cooperate and get this operation done without any mistakes. Also, I've been assigned to retrieve the Iron Heart, so don't any of you think about touching it. I'm warning you.
Glay, your anger levels are rising.
I'm doing my best to let it go.
After speaking with Jeremy, you will unlock the Shelter Duty of the Descendant mission. This mission has a 20% chance of dropping Freyna's enhanced cells, the last crafting component that's required for researching Freyna. The last thing to do after you acquire Freyna's enhanced cells from the Shelter mission is to go to Albion, pay Anais a visit, and begin researching Freyna.
Now what do you want? Go on, I'm waiting.
Once your research completes, claim your Freyna Descendant. And that concludes today's guide for unlocking Freyna. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel.